going on, everybody? It's Geoff Grammer with the Albuquerque Journal. I am in the pit, about 52 minutes now away from tip-off in with Santa Clara. With Santa Clara coming to town as a 1.5-point favorite, depending on where you look. I've seen it anywhere from 1.5 Santa Clara favorite all the way to UNM 1.5 favorite, but it's right around that 1 point kind of either way spread, and it should be a good game. I will say that this is the ABQJournal Sports Live pregame show presented by Sandia Sportsbook. And it's been a long time coming, but I obviously very much appreciate Sandia Sportsbook for getting the graphics and the everything done and supporting this. They've been wanting to for a little while, and here we are. We are now a fully sponsored pregame show, postgame show for football, weekly show with Sean Ryder. We've officially hit the big time. I don't know if that's really how I would describe it, but I do very much appreciate Sandia Sportsbook for sponsoring this and all our podcasts, all our sports podcasts, and Sean and I's sports podcasts and live shows. So appreciate you guys for being here as well. The Lobos, like I said, depending on where you look at it, most places I think it opened at a 1.5-point Santa Clara favorite, and that should be about what they are at most places right now. Santa Clara being 8-1 is a very good team. They are rated higher right now, currently in both KenPom and in the NCAA's net rankings, which don't mean a whole lot right now. Net rankings in December fluctuate so much, even just over the next month. But Santa Clara is a team that's very good. They've already had double-digit wins against Steve Alford's Nevada Wolfpack of the Mountain West, Nico Medved's Minnesota Golden Gophers of the Big Ten, and Richard Pitino's Xavier Musketeers of the Big East, and that was at Xavier. So this is a very good Santa Clara team. Their one loss was on a neutral court to St. Louis, a very high-paced team. Came down to the buzzer, last shot of the game kind of deal, and they lost by 1. So I will tell you that on the injury front, I've been given no updates that anybody will be missing. Tomislav Buljan, who did not play in Monday night's game against Division II New Mexico Highlands, did not play because it was Division II New Mexico Highlands. He would have played otherwise. He suited up on Monday. He was good to go, erring really on the extreme side of caution. They decided not to suit him up. But it wasn't really that he couldn't have gone. Had this been a regular game that would count on all the analytics and all the rankings, he would have played. He is not only expected to play tonight, there's no restrictions whatsoever on him from that ankle injury from last Wednesday, final minute of the game against Alabama State when the Lobos won. He turned his ankle in that final minute and was held out precautionary-wise Monday against New Mexico Highlands. So against New Mexico Highlands, I know a lot of people got pretty excited about seeing some players that hadn't played much this year. Kevin Pattons of the world getting big minutes. Javis Miller got some big minutes. TJ Rock had a really good game. Tomeo Pons, where everybody's been wondering where Tomeo Pons has been, and he gets a double-digit scoring game. I will tell everyone this, that more power to him, but that New Mexico Highland team is gonna have a hard time winning some games this year. That is a pretty bad Division II team. Don't read too much into what you saw on Monday night, other than, in my mind, the fact that all those players, when it was their time, they were obviously ready to play. But I wouldn't read too much into performances. Tomeo Pons is still coming along. He's still a true freshman who is, as he said and as his teammates said, and his coaches have said, like, he is enjoying the college life. Read into that, anything you want. Like, he is very much enjoying the college life and hasn't yet really caught up to such things as running the offense with everyone else and running the defense, especially more than the offense with everyone else. Nobody is questioning his talent. He is a great shooter, and he is going to, when he gets up to speed, I think he's going to be a piece to this Eric Olin puzzle that I think Lobo fans are going to enjoy watching for a while, but he's not ready yet. Kevin Patton, on the other hand, is a guy that I do think has broken his way over the last 4 or 5 games into the rotation and will get regular minutes now. His athleticism is unquestioned. I guess court awareness, shot awareness, stuff like that was stuff that was still kind of lacking, I think, is a safe way to put it in the coach's eyes. But he has earned his minutes now. I think he will be getting more regular minutes on a regular basis. And who else was the guy that I thought had good minutes? Well, Javis Miller hadn't hit a shot in a while, right? He hadn't even played in 2.5 games. And I think he is a guy that he needed to see a couple go in, and he did. He saw some go in on Monday night. That was it didn't matter who the opponent was. You just needed to see some go in. He saw some go in, so that was good for Tejavis. He was a sixth man of the year in the Summit League, so I think there was an expectation that he'd be a little bit more part of the rotation here, and he has struggled. He has struggled. The team's defensive numbers overall, when he is on the court, have dipped early in the season. The team's offensive numbers haven't really improved like they thought. They thought he'd come in and hit some threes, and he just hadn't so far yet. So, all right, we got somebody saw Santa Clara opening up as a 2.5-point favorite, and they're now a 1.5-point dog. And it's, probably sounds about right to me. That's something that I think when people who don't pay attention much to either of these teams see a Santa Clara in the pit, people are going to be like, oh yeah, I'll take 3 or 4 points in the pit no matter who they're playing, kind of thing, right? Well, I'm telling you, this is a really good Santa Clara team. There's a reason the opening line, which is all based on computers and not based on any emotion or any human biases, just based on raw data. There's a reason that opened as a 2.5-point favorite, and that's because they're a really, really good, really, really complete basketball team. What they like to do is, first of all, on offense, they pass the ball. They're one of the top 25 teams in the country in assists per field goal made, meaning they're moving the ball. That's just a general sign of a team that moves the ball well. On defense, they're the exact opposite, where they, the exact same stat flipped. They are one of the bottom 5 in the country, or top 5 in the country, I suppose is the better way to say it, because it's a defensive stat. In terms of if you're going to score on them, you better take them off the dribble. You better go one-on-one against them. They're not going to let you pass the ball and move the ball well. Well, that is what New Mexico wants to do. They want a good movement of the ball on offense to find an open shot, right? They want to create open shots by moving the ball around, and that is something that Santa Clara really tries to deny. It's a lot like St. Mary's offense. Now, the risk in doing that and that denial offense and just not letting teams pass in general is you get by them, you probably have a path to the lane, right? Whereas New Mexico's defense is to protect the lane and protect the paint, even at the expense of opening up or giving up open shots on the perimeter, and we've seen that bite them a couple times. Santa Clara's prerogative is ball denial. They don't like you passing the ball. They don't want ball movement. They want the ball to get stuck in someone's hands and that guy have to dribble and figure it out himself. I don't know that the Lobos have a whole lot of create their own shot kind of guys, so it could be a struggle. Now, they're well aware of that, right? They get it. They know what they're up against, and they know the things to sort of combat what Santa Clara's defense is going to try and do. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes tonight, right? It's that's what every game is, right? One team knows what the other's going to do, but can they do anything about it? So let's see. We got Santa Clara opening as 2. I thought I saw it as 1.5. You're saying 2. Sounds good. So 2.5. Yeah. On DraftKings, you're saying 1.5 dogs. Okay. It's nice to see all the bench get the minutes the other night. I agree. I think the benefit of Monday night, and some people were like, why are they playing a Division II? Well, 9 out of 12 teams in the Mountain West play a Division II team. You're allowed to play one in the Mountain West. They don't have any problems with that. It doesn't hurt anything, even if you lose. Boise State, who interestingly enough has the worst loss in the Mountain West so far this year when they opened the season losing their Division II. And today got the best win, a true road win at Butler, ranked 41st in Ken Palm entering that game. I don't know what it is after the game, but that is the best win so far in the Mountain West, is a true road win against 41st ranked in Ken Palm Butler team, and Boise State got that. So Boise State's a team that has the best win and the worst loss. But I digress. I get back to the Division II games don't count at all in the metrics. They don't count for you or against you. So that's why I say don't read too much into what happens in those games. Coaches do a lot of different things in those games because they know if it hurts them, it's not really going to hurt them. If it doesn't work, or if it does work and they win, it doesn't really help them in any kind of computer rankings. They just need to see their team do different things. I sort of like the fact that the Lobos played theirs this year about 3 weeks into the season, right? Most teams get that non-Division I opponent taken care of in the first week or so. Well, I kind of like that the Lobos played, 2.5, 3 weeks of basketball, and then they kind of got to reset a little bit, got to rest a guy that got hurt 3 weeks in Tomislav Bullion, and I kind of like it that way a little better than the first week. The first week, if you're resting anybody, I don't think you need a reset in the first week. I think 3 weeks in, it's a good time to play an opponent like that. So I kind of liked that situation. But to your point, Steve, I agree, man. The bench getting those minutes, I think the best thing for what the Lobos got out of that night was all those guys on the bench are what they thought they were, right? Like nobody didn't come into that game not ready. And that was good. That was good to see. Hey, is Tomislav Bouillon playing? He is playing. Tomislav Bouillon is playing, and according to Eric Olin, as of yesterday, not only is he playing, he has no restrictions. Again, I really think he would have played on Monday night had it been anybody other than New Mexico Highlands. I even think possibly a better Division II team he might have played. But certainly, even a low-level Division I, a game that counted, I think Tomislav was good enough to play on Monday. They erred on the extreme side of erring on caution, or side of caution kind of thing, because I think he was ready to play on Monday, and they opted not to, just because of the opponent. Jeff's in on YouTube saying, from what I heard, this was originally scheduled to be a secret scrimmage. Not too sure about this, but good get for Olin and the team. That is correct. I wrote about it in today's journal. I also had it in the offseason when the Lobos were looking for another home game. They did convert this from a preseason closed scrimmage to what is now obviously a regular season game. It is the first part. This is the first part of a home and home where the Lobos will play in Santa Clara next year. They've never played in Santa Clara in the regular season. Last year, Santa Clara was here in the pit playing a secret scrimmage, and this year was supposed to be the second part of that home and home secret scrimmage agreement, where the Lobos were going to go play a private one of those closed door scrimmages in Santa Clara. Both teams said, "Nah, we'll just scrap that and let's do a home and home regular season." Santa Clara was game for it because they know they got a pretty good squad this year. They don't mind coming to the pit this year with the squad they have because they know how good they are, and they know that they're going to get a New Mexico team that travels some fans to a California game next year. So, Santa Clara was all about it, and New Mexico was as well, because this is the best, as I wrote about, this is the best home game in the entire Mountain West in non-conference play in terms of both current net, and Ken Palm rankings. The Ken Palm rankings, they are inside the top 50 as of right now. I think they were 49 earlier today when I looked at Santa Clara, that is. No other Mountain West team is able to schedule anybody better than 49 and Ken Palm currently at home this year. Now, San Diego State had UCLA in a preseason exhibition game. San Diego State's played some great games in neutral courts. Some teams, Boise State I mentioned earlier, played a better team on the road, a true road game. Nobody was able to schedule any better than Santa Clara in the entire Mountain West, and that kind of speaks to a lot of you guys on this show and emails and on social media have let me know like how disappointed you are with the schedule. And I kind of try and tell everybody, nobody outside of the power conferences are doing this anymore. Nobody is getting these games. It is what it is at this point. Power conference teams don't play road games at Mountain West schools, and it just is what it is. So I am trying to, as we speak here, there's our good friend Lobo Lane, Zach Lane. I'm trying to update on one of my socials that we got the show going, so bear with me 1 second here. All right. Some of you guys may be just tuning in now. May see our fancy new, just a logo, but new little piece of art at the top of the screen. We are sponsored by Sandia Sportsbook, so I appreciate Sandia Sportsbook for stepping up and sponsoring not only this live show, but my podcast, Talking Grammar Podcast, Sean Ryder's Writer's Block Podcast, our weekly show, our football postgame shows, our basketball pregame shows. All that stuff is now sponsored by Sandia Sportsbook, and much appreciation to Sandia for doing that. So, all right, what else we got here? Steve's in on YouTube saying this game will determine if we're ready for conference play. Yeah, it could. Santa Clara, dare I say, is better than anybody in the Mountain West right now. I know some people will disagree with me, but I don't know, man. They beat Nevada by double digits, beat Minnesota of the Big Ten by double digits. on the neutral court. They beat Xavier of the Big East by double digits, 19 points at Xavier on a true road win. Santa Clara right now, if they were entering the Mountain West and Mountain West play was starting right now, I'd say they're playing better than Utah State and they're playing better than San Diego State. So, yeah, I mean, being competitive with the Santa Clara team obviously would bode well for Mountain West play. Losing, but in a competitive fashion, I think still bodes well for Mountain West play. I don't know that by name recognition alone or lack thereof name recognition, I don't think a lot of Are we back to that part of the show where the Pit's Wi-Fi is starting to act up again? Just told me I was frozen, so I hope I'm not. Jake Berlin is in on YouTube, and Jake, I think you were probably the one who just asked on X2, but is Tomislav Bullion playing? He is. So if you have interest in starting big men playing in this game, yes, to all of those asking for those purposes, Tomislav Bullion is expected to play with no restrictions. Santa Clara is missing their leading rebounder and assist man, Ensminger. That is correct. Jake Ensminger is out and could be for a while, it sounds like. He's missed the last 3 games and definitely not one of their leading scorers. Surprisingly enough, I mean, he leads them in rebounds and assists. If you go to KenPom stats, he's one of the lower ranked guys in terms of like usage, which is really weird because usage is based on finishing possessions, right? If you get an assist or if you're in on the end of any possession, right? Like your usage numbers are high. It's really hard to average 4 assists a game and be a low usage guy. Like you're in on a lot of baskets that way, and just seems weird that Jake's rated so low in terms of usage. But yeah, he's definitely not one of the guys that they lean on for scoring, but he has a big piece of the puzzle for Santa Clara in terms of ball movement, doing cohesion and doing the chemistry kind of things that keep everybody together. Sort of what Eric Olin speaks of with like a Chris Howell and a Luke Hopp, in that they're the connectors, right? They do the little things that may not show up on the stat sheet, but you're better with them on the floor. That is what Santa Clara is missing tonight in Ensminger. So that bodes well for UNM's chances. That's probably in a lot of ways why the line moved a little bit in the direction it did. I think more so than that, the line moved just because I think casuals out there who probably haven't followed the 2 teams very closely just see the Pit and just see Santa Clara, and by history's sake, like the Pit should beat Santa Clara, right? Any Lobo game in the Pit should beat Santa Clara, so they didn't know why Santa Clara was favored. I will tell you the last 3 times that in terms of KenPom rankings, the last 3 times that UNM was a KenPom underdog, they won. They won outright. So they beat San Diego State last year. They beat Virginia Commonwealth, VCU, last year. Both of those games were games in which they were KenPom underdogs. And the previous one was San Diego State the year before. So the last 3 times UNM was a KenPom underdog in the Pit, they did win that game. They are KenPom underdogs in the Pit tonight. They are walking back up the tunnel now for their final kind of pregame preparations. I will kind of do my grammar vision that Sean Ryder gives me a hard time about all the time. Shift the camera, the trusty grammar vision webcam to this side. And how's it going? And I was getting the pat on the back as people walk by, and then you can see them kind of go down. And all right, Steve's in on YouTube. Steve, even though Grand Canyon is playing off their campus, it's still a home game, and they are hanging with Oklahoma State. They're showing better tonight, and that may be true. They might be showing better tonight, and it might be a home game. It was not scheduled as a home game because of proximity. The NCAA may be counting it as such, but it was definitely not scheduled as a home game. It wasn't. Oklahoma State didn't get on the phone. You want to go by here? Oklahoma State and Grand Canyon weren't on the phone together, kind of scheduling this game for a game at Grand Canyon, and it was set up through the neutral site game, the Jerry Colangelo Invitational or Classic or whatever they're calling it, that they got going on, and so there you go. That is one big difference. It's not like Grand Canyon's not paying Oklahoma State to play in Phoenix. Despite what the NCAA may count it as. Jake is in. Thank you. Yes, no problem, Jake. Mike is in on X. Those Hawaii Pacific transitive wins are going to be crazy. I know. All right, John Romero's in on YouTube. GG, thankful for all you do. Depending on what bowls the Lobos are in, the Journal may need to send you to New York City to cover Diego Pavia at the Heisman ceremony. I'm predicting big game from Bullion Chol tonight. A lot of stuff in there, John. I appreciate it. Yeah, I can tell you this. If there's any Diego Pavia coverage of the Heisman trophy stuff, that'd be Sean Ryder. He'll take care of that before they would send me. But I don't know that is on tap. It could be, though. I'm not the one making any of those decisions, and I actually have not been involved in those conversations, so I don't really know what we're doing should Diego Pavia get invited to New York, and I fully expect him to get invited to New York. When that announcement comes out, I would fully expect the headline of Diego, you're in. Franklin's in on YouTube, saying is Tomasov eligible to play 4 years at UNM if he decides to. He is not. As of right now, the NCAA has allowed Tomasov Bullion to play 1 year. This is it. The one lone year that Tomasov Bullion was granted eligibility after playing professionally in his home country is 1 year. Now, UNM, I will tell you, there's a very good chance, although they have not started the process because they have not fully decided, there's a very good chance that UNM could appeal that for 1 more year. So he'd be a 2-year player. Tomasov has a decision to make in that regard too. Does UNM want to fight that battle and fight that appeal if Tomasov Bullion is going to go somewhere else if he gets another year, right? Because that happened Anthony Mathis situation, right? UNM fought his appeal for him. UNM got an extra year of eligibility for Anthony Mathis, and after they informed him, and Paul Weir, they did a little video they showed on social media and everything. Paul Weir goes and tells Anthony Mathis about it, and big hugs and big happiness. And a couple weeks later, he used that, and that's what he should. This isn't blaming him. I'm just telling you what could happen is UNM could fight for his eligibility and do that court battle with the NCAA, and he could get granted an extra year of eligibility. Then Tomasov could leave and transfer somewhere else. That is, he could be up for the top bidder, right? He is making money professionally overseas in Croatia, but is he going to make enough money here to stay at UNM 1 more year? Or if his window to make money in the United States is to go get $1 million or more at some other, power conference school here in the United States for 1 more year, there's a good chance he might do that. And he is the type of player right now. He's showing it. He's a double-double machine, and he may go somewhere else. So UNM has to decide, first of all, does Tomasov and his father, his family, want to go for another year in the United States? And if they do, then what kind of commitment, they wouldn't make him commit 100%. There's nothing binding about it. What kind of commitment does UNM have to fight that appeal? Or would they let kind of maybe the next school that he goes to fight that appeal? Those are all the decisions that go into those kind of things. So, long story short, Tomasov Bullion, 1 year of eligibility as we speak right now. UNM does think they have a case for a second year, as does Tomasov, but no process has started in terms of fighting that just yet. David Valdez is in on X. Colorado Buffaloes played at Colorado State today and lost. Wouldn't that be considered a quality game? It is a quality game, yes. They're just not ranked as high as Santa Clara. So Santa Clara is better than Colorado. They were undefeated. Just curious on what your thoughts are. Yes, Santa Clara is better than Colorado. They're rated higher in every metric. They've beaten better teams and done it by a whole lot more. Colorado might be a bigger name, but I am telling you, Santa Clara is a better team. There's a reason they're rated higher in every metric. There's a reason why Colorado went to Colorado State and lost and was an underdog even going there. Colorado was a very good win for Colorado State. Rivalry win. You get to say you did a big team from the Big 12. They are a top 100 KenPom win. I think it was 66 coming into this game is what Colorado was ranked. And coming into this game, I think Santa Clara was 49 last I checked on KenPom. So Colorado, huge win for the Mountain West, huge win for Colorado State. Not as good a win as this could be for the Lobos should they pull off the win against Santa Clara tonight. Is the game on TV? It is not. TheMW.com is where you can find it for free. It'll be streamed on TheMW.com. You go up to the top left corner where it says watch, kind of follow the steps through there and find this game. But no, it is not televised. Correct, Mountain West Network. No TV on this one. Altitude has covered all the home games but this one. The reason for that, I believe, had to do with some high school games in Colorado or some prior football obligations. I can't remember what it was, but being based out of Colorado, the only conflict that Altitude had the entire season for Lobo home games that weren't picked up on television was this one, and it had something to do with football. I don't know what football right now in Colorado is obstructing it other than some high school games. So I think that they might, maybe altitude. Somebody check altitude and let me know. Are they airing high school games today? Altitude should slow down Santa Clara. Speaking of altitude, right? Altitude, the actual altitude, not the network. And yeah, we'll see how that affects them, right? Santa Clara has played, I'm trying to think where they've played at altitude. I guess they haven't really, so maybe this is the first altitude game of the season for them. I know when they played Nevada, is that a neutral court one or was that at home? I can't remember. But it was not in Reno, I know that. Can I get an update on the spread? ESPN has the Lobos at minus 1.5. I will tell you that according to good old VegasInsider.com, which has a listing of 8-point spreads, looks like UNM is favored at Bet365, MGM, and DraftKings by 1.5. On some other places, FanDuel included, Hard Rock, Santa Clara is favored by 1.5. So, yeah, it's 1.5 either way. Shop your line if you think the Lobos are, get whatever side of that line you want to be on, but make sure you get on the right side of that line. If you're a gambler, shop your line, because if you get different point spreads, it could come in handy. As you know, these games come down to that betting line within a point or two quite often. So every point helps. Shop your line, find the right place. But yeah, there are places, according to VegasInsider.com right now, that have this as a 1.5 point Santa Clara favorite. And some places that have it as a 1.5 UNM favorite. That's essentially a pick 'em. A lot of places won't do 1 point spreads anymore or half point spreads, because that doesn't do anything in basketball because you always have a winner. So 1.5 is the minimum spread you can basically have other than a pick 'em. And if you do that, if you go the 1.5 point spread route, then this is basically as close a game as you can have, and then they adjust the odds and the payouts. So, all right, Desert Lobo 72 is in on YouTube. Did any player that signed with UNM during the 24-25 season with Patino end up at X with him? Yeah, I mean, Jovan Milicevic is one of his best players right now. Filip Borovishinin is a starter. They're both starting for him right now. They are two of his top 3 players. Trey Carroll, I think, is his best player right now. But yeah, those 2 players went. Drew Washington was going to go until Miami offered him $1.25 million. And when he got over $1 million to go to Miami, he did that because he was not getting that much at Xavier, but he was getting a lot. But that is your answer. All right, on YouTube, Santa Clara has a former G League player, Darling, and he is considered a junior this year for first season. Bouillon deserves 2 years at least. The difference being Bouillon played 3 years professionally and turned in all his finances and showed how much he made for his 3 years of professional play, and the NCAA said none of those years he could get back. The Santa Clara player was a junior because he did not make above what is considered the expenses, the minimal expenses of you get to make enough money and not lose eligibility if you're paying for your house, you're paying for anything basketball related. That includes a trainer, workouts, travel, stuff like that. But once you go buy yourself a car or buy yourself a house or a bunch of TVs or stuff like that, that's when they will not give you that year back. That is what, and now I don't mean to imply Tom Bouillon went and bought himself a whole bunch of cars or something, but that's the difference in how the NCAA ruled it. I wish I knew really if there's a specific dollar amount like you are allowed to make. It seems like that would make it a lot easier. If you're overseas and you make $50,000, that might be a really good salary in Croatia, right? For professional basketball. If you make $50,000 here, you're not even a starter on a college basketball team anymore. So I wish I knew just a specific dollar amount, but there you go. That's sort of the NCAA and compliance explanation for that. All right. You got on YouTube, this game being on the Mountain West Network is a crime. Sincerely, the Bay Area. That is, I don't know if the Bay Area would have been able to get altitude either, but yeah, you might be right. I mean, and back to this real quick, like this has the potential to be a really good game. UNM is playing pretty good lately, coming around, and it being in the pit. Yeah, I mean, this could be a really good game. Certainly would be considered a really good win for Santa Clara, a true road win in the pit. That'd be really good for them. So yeah, this this has potential to be a really good game, especially if New Mexico kind of comes around, as some people think they've started to. Yep, high school football and altitude. Thank you. Gorgeous. Grammer vision shift. Gonna have to let Sean Ryder know I now have sound effects in this too. So, all right, guys. We're 22 minutes away. I'm going to start signing off now. Check our coverage, abqjournal.com/sports, where you can get all this good stuff. Remember, we're now sponsored by Sandia Sportsbook. If you are interested in the betting of the numbers and the playing of the ponies, if you will, Sandia Sportsbook as well. I would, will now on the show tell you should definitely go. Sandia Sportsbook. Sellout tonight? No. I think they'll get to 13,000. They didn't get to 13,000 in the game until January last year when they played Nevada, when they had a 14,000 game. So even with Donovan Dent last year and Ellie Jr. Joseph and the Lobo team that was coming off an NCAA tournament last year, they didn't get a 13,000 crowd. I'm sorry, I apologize. They had 14,000 for the New Mexico State game. They didn't get a non-New Mexico State 13,000 crowd, a non-rivalry game crowd until January. They didn't have a sellout in the pit last year, other than that New Mexico State game, until I think like middle of January. So it is a whiteout tonight. Last whiteout was that Nevada game, January 3rd last year. Overtime win, Nelly Jr. Joseph buzzer beater in what was the 1,000th game played in the pit. There you go. There's your tidbit. Appreciate you guys for being here. ABQJournal.com. I'll have my emptying the notebook online in the morning. Have a game story up later tonight. We'll have photo gallery as well. You guys are the best for being here. Thanks, guys. We've got 20 minutes to tip off in the pit. Santa Clara, UNM Lobos.